Palantir's wild ride, up 11% in 2025, but still down from its glory days. Palantir has been through the financial equivalent of a roller coaster this year. If you hopped on this ride expecting a smooth upward climb, you've probably had a few moments of white-knuckle terror. So far in 2025, Palantir stock has managed to gain over 11%, which is great, but let's be real. It's still licking its wounds from a 30% drop after reaching an all-time high of $125.41 on February 19. So, what happened? 1 minute, Palantir was sitting pretty on a triple-digit stock price, making millionaires out of its die-hard investors. Then, just like that, gravity took over. Was it profit-taking? Was it a market correction? Maybe a mix of both. But there was one big dark cloud looming over Palantir's bright AI-fueled future: potential budget cuts from the U.S. Department of Defense. The Department of Defense budget cut scare, a nightmare for Palantir. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: government contracts. Palantir is like that student who aces all their exams but still relies on their parents for allowance. In this case, parents means Uncle Sam, and a big chunk of Palantir's revenue comes from military and intelligence contracts. Some analysts and investors have been sweating bullets over the possibility of defense budget cuts. If the U.S. Army and Department of Defense, DoD, decide to tighten their purse strings, Palantir's revenue stream could take a hit. And let's be honest, without the DoD's big checks, Palantir's fancy AI models don't pay for themselves. So naturally, when rumors started swirling about potential funding cutbacks, investors panicked. This uncertainty contributed to the stock dipping from its February highs. But then, something unexpected happened. The game-changing news: the U.S. Army just gave Palantir a big hug. Enter William Blair analyst Louis DePalma. On Friday, he came out with a report that should have Palantir investors breathing a sigh of relief. The U.S. Army just put its Army Data Platform 2.0 project on indefinite hold. Now, if you're wondering what that even is, don't worry, you're not alone. Here's the simple version. Back in early 2023, the Army started planning a new, shiny data platform that would replace Palantir's Vantage platform. Palantir's Vantage has been the backbone of the Army's data operations, helping with everything from logistics to battlefield intel. The Army was flirting with the idea of moving on, kind of like someone in a long-term relationship browsing dating apps just to see what's out there. Well, turns out the Army had a change of heart. Instead of pushing forward with Army Data Platform 2.0, they decided, maybe we should stick with what works. This is fantastic news for Palantir because Vantage is one of its largest government contracts, raking in $115 million annually. That's a reliable revenue stream, which means fewer financial hiccups, fewer panicked investors, and a stronger case for Palantir's long-term growth. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you've commented, let's continue. But wait. If you are interested in stock news updates that might be relevant to your financial targets, join us and become a member for member-only videos. Find the link in the description section below. What this means for Palantir going forward: so, why should investors care about this latest development? No budget cuts for Vantage equals no lost revenue. If the Army had decided to switch, Palantir could have lost one of its biggest contracts. But now, they keep cashing those government checks. More stability in government contracts. Investors love predictability. The Army sticking with Vantage reassures them that Palantir's government revenue isn't drying up anytime soon. Palantir's AI dominance in defense grows. The fact that the U.S. military is doubling down on Palantir's software means other branches, and even allied nations, might follow suit. If the Army trusts Palantir, why wouldn't others? Short sellers get wrecked. A lot of bears were possibly betting that Palantir would lose the Army's favor. Now that the opposite has happened, we might see some short covering, leading to even more stock momentum. Palantir is still a buy, but maybe not for the faint of heart. Look, Palantir isn't for weak hands. If you're in this stock, you already know the ride can be bumpy, but the long-term potential is still massive. With AI adoption skyrocketing, Palantir has a moat that's only getting wider. This recent Army news just proves that even when it looks like they might lose, they still find a way to win. So, what's next? If Palantir keeps locking down big contracts, proving its AI dominance, and growing commercial revenue, we might just see it push back toward its all-time highs, and maybe even higher. One thing's for sure, this story isn't over yet. Is Palantir on track for a comeback? The stock is still around 30% off its peak of $125.41, but let's put things into perspective. Palantir is not some hyped-up meme stock, it's a serious AI powerhouse with deep roots in government and enterprise contracts. So, what would it take for the stock to regain its all-time highs and beyond? Let's break it down. The U.S. Army's decision, a domino effect. Palantir's success with the Vantage platform isn't just about retaining a single contract, it's about what comes next. The U.S. Army choosing to stick with Vantage is like a major restaurant chain deciding not to change its supplier. It sends a huge signal to other military branches, government agencies, and even international allies. Imagine you're a NATO ally looking to upgrade your battlefield intelligence. You see that the biggest, most advanced military in the world is relying on Palantir's tech. What do? You follow the leader. This could mean more contracts from U.S. allies, more opportunities with different government branches, Air Force, Navy, DHS, increased global trust in Palantir's AI dominance, and guess what? More contracts equals more revenue equals higher stock price. Commercial growth, the secret weapon. While government contracts have historically been Palantir's bread and butter, its commercial segment is the real growth driver. Palantir's AIP, artificial intelligence platform, is being adopted by companies that want to supercharge their operations with cutting-edge AI. We're talking about banks trying to detect fraud before it happens, hospitals improving patient outcomes with predictive AI, manufacturers optimizing supply chains like never before. And here's the kicker. Palantir's commercial revenue has been growing at an insane pace. In fact, its U.S. commercial revenue surged by over 60% year-over-year in 2024. If this momentum continues, Palantir could eventually outgrow its reliance on government contracts altogether. When that happens, Wall Street will possibly finally start valuing Palantir like a high-growth tech company rather than a defense contractor. That's when the stock could explode past its previous highs. AI hype, a rising tide lifts all boats. Let's not forget, Palantir isn't just any software company, it's one of the biggest players in the AI revolution. 2024 saw companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, and Google ride the AI wave to insane valuations. But Palantir is a different beast. Unlike most AI companies, which focus on consumer applications, chatbots, image generation, etc., Palantir specializes in mission-critical AI, the kind of stuff that governments and Fortune 500 companies can't afford to get wrong. If AI continues its dominance as the most important tech trend of the decade, Palantir is perfectly positioned to capitalize on it. And once investors fully grasp this, boom, stock price rockets. It's our privilege that God, the creator of heaven and earth, will bless us abundantly, make us the head and not the tail if we love him and obey his commandments. Please acknowledge him in your plans and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Want more information? Please check the description section. Also again, if you are interested in more relevant stock news updates, consider becoming a member. Link in the description section. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. There are 3 more important steps to build wealth. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you highly motivate me to continue bringing to you educative and transformative videos every week. Do not miss out on our future videos full of knowledge and wisdom. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today, your support is appreciated so much. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Thank you, see you in the next video by God's grace, we love you, and blessings to you.